Alrighty, hello every folks, and good morning. Welcome to another edition of Know Your Tic Tacs. Today we talk about the ninja, allegedly an expert in stealth and subterfuge, though in reality they're closer to King Kong than Solid Snake. And also, additionally, I specifically wanted to bring this up because there's occasionally been a couple of questions of where exactly does the archer promote to? Why isn't there another longbow specialist? Honestly, I agree with you. I think the samurai should have been given longbows. But basically, we have this funny little bit of logic where somebody goes, they pick up a longbow, and they're like, huh, so stuff can go far away and it hurts someone. What if I throw swords as the ninja? Or they go the other way around and they're like, huh, what if I become the bow as the dragoon? So yeah, gotta love that. Anyways, so with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this dude. Basically, they're the dual wield guy. They throw stuff, they dual wield, that's their whole shtick. They do have one of the cooler evasion abilities, but we'll get to that in a little bit of a second. So as far as their throwing stuff is concerned, you have shurikens, which are basically going to just be a cheap thing to throw, or a way to inflict darkness, which, I mean, go for it. You know, you live your best darkness life. Realistically, that won't help much. I mean, in combination with their defensive ability, I mean, maybe, but it's just kind of there. You have bombs in order to exploit elemental weaknesses. Then you've got dagger swords, etc., 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 going down the list, down to knight swords if you want to make a mistake, as well as everything else. It kind of seems like with a lot of the advanced classes, they just sort of got to the end and they're like, 100 JP for everything, whatever. Except for axes. Those are 120, just because of reasons. I guess they're technically slightly stronger, but it is what it is. For the most part, this is a way to clear out your inventory while also kind of sort of adjusting your damage depending on how much you need at any given time. There's not very many times where you'll probably deliberately go out of your way to throw weapons, though it is technically a way to upgrade the crossbow, I guess, in a very roundabout manner. So there's that. From there, we get over to the reaction abilities, and this is where stuff gets a little bit more interesting. We've got Vanish, which will turn somebody invisible when they go and get hit. This is potentially usable for cheesing certain things because they cannot be targeted or anything else until they end up coming back. And then we've got Reflexes over here, which it mentions that it greatly increases it. This is one of those cases that I'm not really entirely sure why they didn't just go for the accurate description, because they were so... I mean, they were pretty accurate about describing every other reaction ability, and in terms of how and when they kind of act and whatnot. Reflexes just doubles your current evasion, whatever that happens to be. So essentially, if you're all stacked for magic evasion, you can become near completely immune to it. If you're all stacked for physical evasion, same thing. So for example, right now, instead of 40%, if they went and popped this sucker on, they would end up getting 80% physical and 60% magical evasion before other stuff is considered. I believe it's just the stuff that's in your body slots. It might be the combined total. Honestly, I'm not sure. Stuff seemed a little inconsistent when I tried looking it up, so I don't know. One of those things is accurate. Realistically, even your body stuff when doubled is oftentimes pretty close to 100% evasion, so that's mostly what this thing does. However, it has to be noted that this is specifically for evasion, so the typical evasion limitations apply, so if somebody attacks you from behind, well, whoopsie, you're doing a bad job at doing stealth. I guess you die now. From there, we have dual wield. This is their bread and butter. This is the thing that everybody realistically uses this class for. Essentially, this allows you to put two one-handed weapons into each hand, and that allows for a lot of fun combinations, whether it's debuff weapons, whether it's just going absolutely ape mode on something with dual flails, or, you know, maybe just deciding to go have a wizard with two sticks because you just kind of feel like it. There's a lot of different options for this. Sometimes it's just for the purpose of unlocking two weapons, like let's say you decide to get really weirdly specific with your wizard build, and you just decide, I need specifically just a lighting bonus and a poison bonus for some reason. Then you have that option. I mean, it's not a good option, but it's there. Whatever. Maybe you found some way to do something with that. Anyways, from there we also have water walking, which is sort of here to fill a slot. You walk on water. Cool. Anyway, so as far as builds go, realistically speaking, it's very hard to go wrong with these guys. I mean, they get access to all of the standard clothes type of stuff here. However, if you decide to, let's say, go heavy armor with them, as well as high evasion, as well as eventually swapping this out for reflexes, you can be extraordinarily difficult to actually put down with a combination of not only high health, but high, near impossibility to be hit. It's pretty darn good. Now, how does this compare with the Shiri over on the Samurai? Well, that has the same chance to block things as your Bravery does, but that only works for physical stuff. In this case, reflexes will work for everything. except not everything can actually be evaded. So, for example, if you're hit from the back or from above, that doesn't actually check evasion, so you're kind of out of luck in that particular instance. And additionally, having your brave lowered does not affect your ability to dodge in that case. So there's that. Now, I will say, as far as the different weapon combinations go, these guys do get some of the best options right out of the box. Having a combination of daggers, katanas, well, specifically light katanas and flails, of all things. And I feel like those flails were more so a... I don't know if it's meant to be a reference to those clubs I can't remember the name of, but I still prefer to feel that this was just a reference to old 80s movies. But whatever. Like, I swear, every old, just like martial arts movie or whatever else, they're just in the same weird getup, having the most random mall ninja crap in their hands. It's just wonderful. Yeah, I'm hoping somebody adds a mall ninja mod for this whole thing, just random crap that they found found wandering through the mall one day. But you have potentially fun combos here, like let's say giving somebody Doom and Disable, just kind of forcing them to run around like a headless chicken for a while. And yeah, that's kind of about it. You mostly just throw things that you just sort of feel like throwing. Most of the time, it's just, kind of stuff that you aren't particularly attached to. I still don't know why it has options to throw things like katanas or night swords, but again, personally, I would advise not even learning those skills so you don't accidentally throw away Excalibur. But yeah. That would be really funny to go through all the trouble of going and getting your own free copy of Masamune, only to then go throw it in the trash because you decided to go take out a wizard. But hey, you know what? I suppose the thing was going to break anyway because you totally needed that haste plus regen. So yeah, that's about that. Like, realistically, I don't know if there's even much more to say about this guy. Like, that's all anyone needed to know. It's the dual wield guy. You know why you use the ninja. What are we talking about here? That's probably why in FFTA they went and combined them with a Geomancer. They're like, we gotta give them something, like some reason for people to actually stick with this class. I guess it's also worth mentioning they have a much longer movement range than usual, as well as a pretty high PA and stuff like that, which is all well and neat, again, as you'd expect. But realistically speaking, movement aside, like, obviously high movement could potentially be really useful for a lot of things, but that aside, you pretty much can put dual wield on anything for some pretty crazy results. These guys used to be sort of the premier wood chipper of the team. With Tactician mode now being a thing, I feel like that kind of goes down somewhat, only because a lot of, even, like, let's say, double stacking flails on the enemy end, like, yeah, no, they will absolutely just scale you into the dirt. On the player end, I mean, maybe you can actually throw a charge onto them, so like the archer's charge, and you can see some pretty crazy results out of flails doing that. But, again, that's kind of up to you. So, experiment with that as you see fit. But yeah, charging dual flails, that does work. It actually works pretty well for hitting pretty hard if you're feeling lucky. But yeah, there's other ways to potentially achieve this on other classes using that same thing. Specifically, I personally feel like that setup is a little better on the Squire, only on account of the fact that they can just keep accumulating while they're charging something down like a, deranged monkey about to go pound something into the dirt with their dual flails. So, you do you. So, that's about that. You'll have yourselves a good one. I will see you in the next one, and take care. Bye.